member of Cleveland's JPark gang will spend the rest of his life in prison for fatally shooting a 20-year-old woman during a gang retaliation attempt. Patrick Shropshire, 20, will be eligible for parole after 34 years. Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Judge Michael Donnelly handed down the sentence on Monday. A jury found Shropshire and co-defendant Jamal Lewis, 23, guilty of aggravated murder and being part of the JPark gang that has been linked to other shootings and murders. The JPark gang had an ongoing feud with the ATM Jack Boys. JPark members believed a Jack Boys member shot at a JPark member on April 15, 2013. Later that day, Ramal Lee, 21, drove Shropshire and Lewis to East 134th Street, where a group of Jack Boys were gathered. Shropshire and Lewis jumped out of the car on East 136th Street and cut through buildings. Both fired several shots at the group. Regina Neal was killed and a 21-year-old man was shot in the calf. Neal was not with the group and was walking in front of her home when she was killed, prosecutors said. Lewis was sentenced Thursday to life in prison with parole eligibility in 44 years. Lee was sentenced to life in prison with parole eligibility in 24 years. JPark and the ATM Jack Boys have a history of violent fights. JPark member Demetrius Keith targeted Jack Boys member Arturio Young in early 2014. Keith and 3 other gang members in February 2014 followed Young from a gas station and eventually shot at him as they both drove on Interstate 480. 6 months later, Keith fatally shot Young, 19, as Young walked with his friends on East 139th Street. Keith was found guilty of aggravated murder during a trial and was sentenced to life in prison with parole eligibility in 44 years. 3 other JPark members are serving prison time for non-fatal shootings of Jack Boys gang members in 2015. JPark members Martell Taylor, Martez Powell and John T. Irvin met in January 2015 and devised a plan to shoot Jack Boys members. Late that night, the trio fired several shots into a home on East 158th Street, injuring an 18-year-old Jack Boys member. The man survived. The trio was sentenced to between 6.5 and 10 years in prison. The gang is believed to hold territory between the former Jamison Elementary School and Garwin Park on East 136th Street, according to court records.